Oh, picks up a nice hand and heads up poker here, the king, queen of diamonds. But just going to limp in and call on the button.
And Sean Urban with a queen five of spades. Nothing fancy. We're going to see a flop. Here's the first three cards.
Oh, flop comes king, jack, 10.
Oh, buckle up. Sean with a four flush. He has checked it.
He's also got an open-end straight draw, but Laurent has top pair with an open-end straight draw. And he comes out firing 500,000. Vince, we could see a lot of fireworks.
More.
There's the first raise by Sean Urban to 1.3 million.
He's saying, I'm open-ended. I got a flush draw. I'm going to bully you out of this. Little does he know, though, Laurent has a huge hand as well.
Vince, in my view, many players would just ship it right here with Laurent's hand. Now, maybe if he puts his opponent on a spade draw, he might want to take one off to see if a spade comes off and then move all in. Laurent is making the call, so a monster pot developing here. So over 3 million in the pot. Comes the turn card. Jack of clubs.
Pairs the board. What a scare card for both players. As they both slow down, they both check.
Deuce of hearts comes off. That no apparent help to either player.
Sean didn't hit the flush. Nothing on the river for him.
I'm all in.
But look at this, man. Sean Urban is moving all in. He's betting 3.7 million on a bluff.
Absolutely nothing. What guts to make this bet really be successful?
He's got Laurent covered. Not by much, but by enough to bust Laurent out of this tournament if he would make this call and lose this pot.
And Laurent, the boxer, getting up from his seat. And by the way, I've never seen a player that gets up from his seat get away from the hand. They usually call. But we will see. It is a very tough call to make.
It sure is. That might look like a pretty good hand with two kings, but when your opponent check raised you on the flop and now moves all in for your tournament life, it is tough to call with just kings here.
This would be the call of the tournament. Practically breaks Sean Urban.
I'll call.
He's going to do it. He's made the call.
And Vince, just like that, it's like he's lost the first 9 rounds of this heads-up battle. But in round 10, bam, he's knocked him out to a 9.5 count. What a tough call that was to make. Just two kings there. Now, it may seem like a big hand heads up, but when you got check raised on the flop with that hand, and now your opponent moves in on the river, whew, I'm telling you, folks, that is not an easy call to make.
Sean had the guts to make that kind of bet. Almost got his man out.
Oh. Well, Sean showed a lot of heart there to make that bluff. But Laurent showed just as much or more heart by making the call.
Oh, what a brilliant call. He has done it. He has come back in a big way.
Well, Vince, that was it. It was it.
All right, action right back on Kyle. And he has got to be punchy at this point. He's just getting manhandled here tonight. He's going to fold a nothing hand. And now Tom Lee. Just a queen five. Happy to just call that. Mr. Frankenberger with a jack five. Content to see a flop.
Well, and he's got clubs. And two clubs come on the flop. But Tommy has flopped top and bottom pair. He's got queens up.
What a flop for Tommy Lee. Queens in fives, and he's going to bet at 300,000.
Vince, it's not going to shock me if we see a big pot brew right here on the flop.
A raise.
Because Andy's got one of those hands that it doesn't matter what his opponent has.
Yep.
He is not drawing dead. Even if his opponent had 3 queens, he'd have a flush draw.
He's making it 1,700,000 to go with a 4 flush and a pair.
Well, I think Tommy Lee's just going to have to go with this hand, Vince.
All in.
And he does so. He has gone all in.
Well, you can't blame him. He's got 2 pair, queens up. I'd move all in there, too. And I'd call if I was Andy.
Yeah.
It's just one of those hands that sort of plays itself.
I call.
Yep, he's going to call it.
Well, Tommy probably not going to like what he sees here. He knows a flush could beat him.
Tommy's family on the rail, sweating their father out.
Andy looking for another flush. He's made a couple flushes on the river to win big pots at this final table.
Oh, club!
4 clubs right on the turn. Tommy Lee just can't believe it.
Come on, come on, come on.
It is not over yet, though. Tommy looking for a queen or a 5. That's what he needs to win this pot. Otherwise, he's going to be crippled. Well, a 7 comes off. Andy Frankenberger makes another flush to win another pot.
Can he get him to pay off with those type of hands? Is he bluffing frequently enough to get him to pay off? So those are all the kind of things that Kane has to think about against Donnie. You know, Donnie there is really very comfortable checking back that flop and then calling twice when it comes 4 and then deuce.
All right, on to the next hand. A few folds around to Bill Klein. Likes an ace deuce of hearts. Will raise it to 14,000. Fedor behind him with a 4-5 of hearts is considering this.
A lot of players in Fedor's position here like to 3-bet against an amateur player, especially when you've got lower cards that can't flop top pair. It's interesting that he's just called here. I think that's partially because he wants to keep Bill Klein in the pot, and partially because Kane Lai is on the button, and Fedor does not expect Kane to be squeezing very often by raising pre-flop.
Well, he's got a few folds behind him, but now Sean Winter, who was in the big blind, has a pretty solid queen jack of hearts. That's going to induce him to make this call.
Yeah, Sean not going anywhere.
Now, so we have three-way action. Let's see who gets lucky.
Are there any hearts left in this deck? Oh, maybe a couple.
Oh, wow, look at this. Ace, 6, 3, 2 of them hearts.
Wow. What a flop here.
Sean with a quick check. And Bill Klein flopping top pair, and the big flush will make the continuation bet of 19,000.
Yeah, Bill would have the nut flush draw here if Fedor Holtz didn't have the straight flush draw here. Open-ended as well, so he's got everything. Meanwhile, Sean Winter looks like he has a good hand, but actually has almost no chance of winning here. Fedor really has a decision to make here between calling and raising, depending on what he wants to happen in this hand. Looks like he's just going to call. He wants to keep Bill in.
And now Sean Winter, he's saying, what's going on?
And Sean has his own decision to make.
Sure does.
And it's got to be tempting to raise, because if he believes that Bill is following through with a fairly generic continuation bet here, then his raise should get Bill to fold. And if Fedor is calling with anything besides an ace, or say a strong flush draw of his own, a raise should get Fedor to fold. But as we know, neither of these players have any intention of getting away from their hands.
And he's getting the chips out. He is going to raise it. He has moved it up to 48. And now what does Bill do?
Well, Bill is definitely not going anywhere. The question is he going to call or raise? And he has just announced all in.
There you go, Bill. Teach these young bucks a lesson. Oh.
And now back to Fedor for his own $100,000 decision. You know, he started this hand with a full stack, as did Bill Klein. And at this point, he's really got to be concerned that his flush draw might not even be good, in which case only his straight outs are viable.
For sure.
And he cannot call off with just those 6 straight outs. So you see there, Fedor makes a very thoughtful but conservative fold.
Yeah, makes the right decision in my opinion.
And Sean now facing his own decision. He's invested a third of his stack in this hand. And assuming his opponent doesn't have a king high or an ace high flush draw, he's getting the appropriate price to call off here, but we know that he's essentially drawing dead.
Yeah. Seemingly pot committed, though, perhaps. He is struggling with this decision, but there he goes. He's made the call. Bill flips it up.
And no surprise that he's swearing when he sees Bill's hand.
It's going to be hard for me to win this one.
100,000. Easy come, easy go. But he does have some outs. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he needs either a running king 10 or a running queen jack or queen queen, but basically he needs running cards in order to win this pot. Otherwise, Sean is going to be eliminated and have the option to re-enter.
Bill Klein, 3 career WPT cashes, 1 final table. Quite a player. I like to call him a non-professional, not an amateur, because he's no amateur, believe me.
That's not the hand I wanted you to have.
Could have been the 2-4 hearts, maybe.
It's kind of scary when he doesn't fold right away, huh?
Hey, it's blackjack, blackjack. You know, we already know the run out. I really think it's blackjack, blackjack.
Sean is hoping and praying.
Do you want to chop?
They're making him sweat on this one, too.
Yeah, flip those cards.
Red jack.
And there's a jack. He's got a jack.
It's not over yet, Vince,
No.
actually. That card takes him from about a 3% chance to a 12% chance. Now, any queen or jack will award this pot to Sean. Otherwise, they're all going to Bill.
He wants the big suck out. They're burning and turning. It's not going to work. 3 of clubs on the river. Sean Winter has to say goodbye. $100,000 poorer. Gets up from the table. Quite a gentleman.
Yeah, a safe card for our amateur Bill Klein. Who now
Wonder, where did the cowboy hats go? Poker players used to have big cowboy hats on. Now they're wearing suits and are very smart. Used to be dropouts in the 5th grade. So we've come a long way.
Law degrees in suits, that's what it's come to.
All right, a quick fold by him, and now Vanessa Selps.
350.
Now, speaking of law, she graduated from Yale Law School back in 2012.
Got ace queen of diamonds, makes it 350 to go. Cotler out.
Well, she's finally picked up a big hand here. Raises on the button, and as you can see, Kong Pham with the 9-6 of hearts. Gonna look her up.
Yep. Very creative play this Kong Pham is, as is Vanessa Selps. Now look at this flop. Jack 10-9.
Well, beautiful flop for Kong. He's flopped a pair and a flush draw.
Vanessa, straight draw. Oh boy. After Kong's check, she's betting 350.
You can't blame her.
Kong sees his hand. Huge potential with a pair already.
Oh,
King Kong beats on his chest and says all in. Gonna put the pressure on Vanessa.
Yes, he is. She's got a tough decision now, Vince. She's got about 2.7 million left after that raise. She's got a straight draw. She's got overcards, but she knows
getting to fold. but
most likely she's
no,
going to have to outdraw her opponent to win this pot, unless he has specifically a small flush draw.
I don't think I can fold this. All right, I call.
Yeah, she's gonna make this call.
Wow, a bold call by Vanessa, and she needs a lot of help. You see her wincing. She sees her opponent has the best hand and the best draw.
Here's the
She's going to have to get lucky to stay alive, or she'll be out in 4th place.
Yeah, she is a dog. King Kong out in front right now with 2 cards to come to knock out the great Vanessa. What will happen?
Well, she's on her feet like everybody else is here. Here comes the turn. Oh, Jack of diamonds.
Yeah, she has a 4 flush now.
Well, that's a nice card for Vanessa.
You see that?
Gives her more outs.
It's too many outs.
What a turn, huh?
Too many outs. I'm out of here.
She's packing up her bag.
She can win with an ace, a king, a queen, a 10, an 8, or any diamond. So certainly Vanessa with a lot of outs to win. It's a 10. Vanessa has done it. She has made a bigger 2-pair. She stays alive, goes over. High fives. Her wife Miranda, her friends. She is back in advance just that quick.
Wow! What a hit on the river for Vanessa.
Best turn, maybe.
Back in. We will see Taylor with a quick fold, and now Kurt Kohlberg with a 6-5 of diamonds raise. Is going to raise to 125. Justin Zaki and Abby Daniels both going out, but Tommy Vitas.
He's got the king 9 of hearts in the small blind, going to make the call.
Trash talker Alan Barry going away, so 2-handed poker. Here we go.
The flop comes 9-6-5, just an incredible flop for both players. Tommy's got top pair and a flush draw.
And he checks it,
As you can see, Curtis flopped 2-pair.
and he bets it. 175.
Buckle up, folks. You're going to see a lot of chips going in the pot here. And both players have good reason to put chips in the pot, I might add.
Well, Tommy Vitas going to make the raise. Goes to 475. Now Kurt with 2-pair on that flop.
All in.
Wow, he goes all in.
Well, you can't blame him. He's going to get called, too.
Yep.
Nobody's going to get away from this hand. Top pair and a flush draw.
Good luck, Kurt.
Well, it's a showdown at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Kurt has Tommy Vitas well covered. So Vitas's life on the line here. A WPT champion, 8 of diamonds on the turn. Does not help Tommy.
Well, Tommy can win the pot if an 8 comes up, a king comes up, or a heart comes up. They'd split the pot if a 7 comes up.
Otherwise, it's over for Tommy Vitas.
But Kurt Kohlberg out in front right now with the 2-pair. Can they stand up? Yes. Deuce of spade comes off. Tough luck for Tommy Vitas right there. Everybody would get their money in the pot there with top pair and a flush draw.